Yusuf Estes, and I'm looking for something. Actually, I'm looking for someone. Is that someone you? I want Dawah partners, and you can be my Dawah partner right now. It's real easy. Just go to dawahpartners.com, sign up, and join me. There are 3 things that I would like for you to be able to do. Any one of them or all of them. Beautiful. Number 1, you will make dua. So you can be our Dawah partner, even if you don't go to the website, but I hope you do. Number 2, share. Share this message and let other people know about becoming Dawah partners. And number 3, help us financially. Donate on a monthly basis, even if it's small. Allah loves the thing that you do regularly, even if it's small, more than the thing that you do that's really big, but you only do it once. Join me as a Dawah partner. Do it now. Click, 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 click.
A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way.
And here we are with you once again from our studios in Southern California, coming to you almost live, but not completely live, because we always have about a 30 or 60-second delay, depending on how fast your internet is, But coming to you from Southern California, where it's beautiful, and also from Yuma, Arizona, which is where I am. I am Sister Kim, and here is Yusuf Estes.
We have a phone call. It's exciting.
Well, it looks like we already got a phone call coming in here. Woohoo! Let's take this call.
Have a caller. To accept
All right, we have a caller. Assalamu alaikum, caller.
Alaikum salam. My name is Tiffany. I am a new Muslim revert.
Okay.
I reverted in February. I've read the Quran many times. I actually I read it every day, God willing. I do it every day. But my question is how could I gain more knowledge if financially things are rough, like for a lot of people? How would I increase my knowledge on the Quran? Where would I go to increase my knowledge?
MashaAllah, very good question, sister. MashaAllah, a brand new Muslim, 5 months old in Islam, and well, wait a minute, 5 months old in Islam, you already know everything.
Oh no, I watched lots of your videos. I watched videos that are 13 years old. Actually, my son and I, we're trying to learn Arabic, and we've been watching your videos from 10 years ago, and it's like, oh no, we're too late for that. So
actually,
we have
a whole entire website for Arabic in English.com. Did you know that?
No.
Yep. And it's me just having fun with Arabic and English language. You can give in comparison so we can remember the letters and how they fit together and how the words. I'm not the expert to tell you what the Quran means or something like that, without a lot of help. But it gives you a good introduction and overcomes the fear that I had. I didn't realize I had a fear, but I had a fear when I came into Islam that I would, somehow fail at it, and then I would look like a fool, and so I wouldn't even attempt it for the first couple of years. It wasn't until a friend of mine, Dr. Jamal Bedawi, up in Canada, he gave some tapes out, and I listened to the tapes, and I realized, hey, I can do this. I can do it. And that's really what inspired me to help others to do the same thing. But let's come to your question, sister, for tonight. What you were talking about, where can you get more knowledge? There are several places, but where are you physically located?
I am in California, but inshallah, we're relocating to Missouri at the end of August.
Oh, okay. What part of California are you in?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, my goodness. You're leaving the place of a lot of knowledge of Islam for a place that we came from that unless you get the right city, there ain't nothing. What city are you going to in Missouri?
I will be 2 hours from St. Louis.
Ooh.
Inshallah.
Ooh. Are you sure you want to do this?
It's a financial thing is why we're doing it.
All right. Okay. Well, if you know what you're doing.
And
there is something you can do if you get good
family.
Okay. Well, in Islam, it is permissible, to go for knowledge even into a non-Muslim area if you need knowledge. So, but to leave a Muslim area to go to some place that is not going to be a benefit, it's kind of frowned upon. However, now, this is where we can turn that around through the internet. Now, if you get a good internet connection, a decent one, then you will be able to use one of our websites. We have a website, the New Muslim Academy. Have you heard about the New Muslim Academy?
No, I have not, but I'm taking notes.
Okay, New Muslim Academy is a wonderful. I signed up for it myself just so I could monitor what they're doing, because it's all coming from overseas. But it is really, I couldn't do a better job. I really couldn't. And I tried, and that's how I know when I'm saying this. I know from experience I could not do a better job than what they're doing with it. Now, another one that you might make a note of anytime or anywhere you are is Search for Islam. Searchforislam.com. Have you heard of that one?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, searchforislam.com, this one has the ability to go through and search all of our websites. Now, by the way, we just added some more this the other day, and we're now at over 4,500, I think is where we are now. Over 4,500, something like that. 4,350 something. That's it. 4,350 something. Anyway, if you can't even keep up with the names, which I can't, and you can't even come up with the right numbers, which you just saw that I can't, then how in the world would we know where anything is? And that's what we use, that Search for Islam. That is provided to us for no cost whatsoever by Google. And that goes through only our websites that we have listed with that. And it operates beautifully. It will show you a display and everything. And it's all thanks to Google. So we really do thank them for that. And I'd like to just mention that as a sort of a shout out for all the Muslims to realize that Google has some great things. Really, they do. Anyway, so that is one thing that you can do, is just anytime you get in a doubt. For instance, let me see if I can pull it up right now and show you. If I would have a question like your question. And I want to find out. What I've got to do here now is try to guess what size this needs to be. Here it is. I made a lucky guess. There it is. It's up on the screen. Search for Islam or shakegoogle.com. It's both. And I turned it into a little bit of a cartoon there. But what's nice is that it also had the most popular words that are being used right now on our websites are these that you're seeing on the screen right now. It's one is Medina, another one is girl, Catholic, accept, convert. Somebody mistyped it. They put convert with the letter J, and yeah. So what happens if you do mistype something? So when you do that, it says, yeah, see that? Oops. So you go back and you figure out what you mistyped, and this is a really good website for all of us to use and benefit from, inshallah. Now there's another one that's called Share Islam, and I'm going to put that one up there. Do you know about that one, sister? Have you ever seen ShareIslam.com?
No, I just, everything I've learned, I've just Googled on my own, or I watched all of your YouTube videos I could get my hands on, as well as others like Brother Bilal Phillips and others. But I got on the websites that said to only do the Quran, and then I came across your video where it said that's nonsense. They're the same ones who did the Hadiths, did the Quran. So then I realized I was on the wrong website, so I figured I better send to someone with knowledge.
Actually, I went through a period of myself of looking seriously at the Hadith, because I wanted to know what about these Hadith, because I was hearing things as well.
Does she need the prayer papers?
Oh, my boss just stepped in the room and said, do you need any help with the prayer papers or anything like that? Because she has a thing that she made up. She'll send it to you for free.
Yes, I'll take anything I can get that's going to further my knowledge in Islam. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Oh, see, that's from her.
I do have papers I printed out and videos that I tell her, thank you. I do have papers that are
what
printed
she
out
did
and videos that I've been doing.
When she converted to Islam, I didn't even know her when she converted to Islam. So when she did, she made up her own little paperwork, and she wanted to diagram each and every move and each and every salah, because normally people will say, now repeat what you just did. No, she's not going to do that. That's not how she works. And so she diagrammed everything. How many times you put your head down on each rak'ah in each one of the salawat. So each prayer that you start with in the morning, noon, afternoon, the sun goes down, in the night prayer, she has every single movement that you need to know about. And it's not saying duplicate that or copy what you just did or remember. No. She makes it real easy for the newcomer to Islam not to get it wrong. Because, trust me, when I came into Islam and I was really confident that I could do anything, I can do that, that's easy, hey, I've been watching that Muslim guy for over 3 months. He's praying in our living room. I can do it. Don't worry. But as soon as I got away from the brothers that were trying to help me out, which wasn't very long, the first week after I converted to Islam, I had to go down to the Mexican border. And on the way, I would stop and say, now, how did that go? What's that? Wait a minute. And I wound up.
I do that.
I wound up doing the full prayers. I didn't even know that when you're traveling, you're not even supposed to do the full prayers. You're supposed to shorten and combine not the one in the morning. You don't get to shorten and combine that because it's already just 2 rak'ah. But the ones in the afternoon, the noon and afternoon, you shorten those to 2 rak'ah and finish. And then you do them at the same time. So you'll do 2 rak'ah, and when you're sitting, you salam alaikum, and then stand up, and then you do this, not the adhan, but the iqama. And when you do the iqama, Allahu Akbar, ashhadu la ilaha illallah, ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah, qama salah, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Then you go ahead and do the 2 rak'ah again for the next prayer, and then it's finished. And so that can be done at any time from when the sun passes the medium high until it gets over to the cutoff time of Asr. And that's because you're traveling, you need to work it out, and you're scheduling, and maybe you're in an airport, or maybe you fell off your camel, or so no matter where you are in the world, you can handle it. So I didn't know that. Well, not only that was a problem, I didn't also know that you don't need to do the Sunnah Salawat, the Sunnah prayers. I didn't know that. So here I was, not only doing that, but I doubled up everything. And I was thinking, yeah, there's 4 rak'ah. So what is a rak'ah? Okay, I have to do these 2 things 2 times, and then sit for a while, and then do 2 more of those, and so I was actually doing like 8 rak'ah for the fard, and 8 rak'ah, and another 8 rak'ah for the. And I was thinking, man, this is a lot harder than I thought. It's so time consuming, and I got to travel and all that. And so when I got back, I was talking to them. They looked at me like I was crazy. And they said, wait a minute, you didn't even know that when you travel you can shorten the prayers? I said, no, I must have missed that one. So, alhamdulillah, 30 years ago, I came to Islam, and I'm still laughing about myself, the mistakes that I made. But hey, the Muslims were really good to me. They didn't give me a hard time. Yeah, nobody ever gave me a hard time, really. So, alhamdulillah for that. So, anyway, she has now, don't say your number on the air, but I think I have it in my phone just now. Let me see. No, it won't show me until after it's done. But I'm pretty sure that we'll be all right, and that I can just, yeah. You can, and I won't give her phone number out either, but if we don't call you back an hour after we go off the air, then call the 800 number back, and we'll work on it. All right? We'll get it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So as far as knowledge goes, the biggest knowledge of Islam is what you already did when you came into Islam, to know that there really is only one God, and to know that your purpose here is to serve Him in any way, shape, or form that you can. That is the big knowledge. After that, it's icing on the cake. Anything after that, if you already know that you were probably a Christian, is that right?
Yes.
All right. So as a Christian, you knew the Lord's Prayer, right?
Yes.
Okay. The only word in there that I would say is mistranslated is the word Father, because God is not our Father, He's our Creator. But after that, if you said, Our Lord which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, because one of His names is Quds, which means hallowed or sacred. So it's definite that must have come from Jesus. There's not a lucky guess on that one. hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. Now, that is something that is very, very pronounced on Muslims. Be sure that you know what Allah's qadr is all about. His qadr, His will, what He demands from us. He created us, and this is what He wants for us to do. But one of the things is to understand everything, good or bad, that happens has a purpose because He has allowed it to happen. There's no other power in the universe except His. So it means that if somebody gets killed in a car wreck, He allowed it. So don't get upset about it. Don't go, oh God, why this and why me and why everybody, that doesn't work. Allah wants you to understand that He allowed that, so how are you going to deal with it? And this prayer, this Lord's Prayer, is packed full of little reminders for Muslims. Now, we don't use the Bible to learn anything, but it is a good reminder because we can go and then we'll find this in the Quran and this in the Hadith and so and so and so. But a person without Hadith, and now I'm going to come to that other subject that we were talking about, a person without Hadith is like somebody who's in a boat that started out on a journey, but they forgot the road maps. They forgot the charts that the boat is supposed to have on there. And if you don't know how to read the charts, then what are you going to do? Because there are always things that are going to come up along the way. Even if you can see there's an island right over there, okay, and I'm heading toward that island, what's the guarantee that you're not going to have some big swell come up, or some rain come up, or fog, or another boat bump into you? Or what are you going to do? Are you going to have to make it up? And that's not the way Islam works. You don't get to make up your way. Allah has already lined that out for us. And He says in the Quran, in two places in one chapter, really driving a point home. In chapter 3 of the Quran, it's called Surah Al-Imran, and in verse 19 He says it real clear, Inna dina indallahil Islam. For sure, no doubt about this, the only way of life for you and I as Muslims is to surrender and submit to Him in peace. And all of that meant Islam and Muslim. That I could say it real quick in Arabic, but there's no way to say and get the full meaning out without a full, maybe an hour to cover everything. Inna dina indallahil Islam. Allah says that, and that's verse 19. Verse 85, same chapter, chapter 3, Surah Al-Imran, He says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومن يبتغي غير الإسلام دينا فلا يقبل منه وهو في الآخرة من الخاسرين. And this one translates into English sort of like this: whoever wants a way of life other than the one prescribed by Allah, then he is never going to accept that. And in the hereafter, they will be amongst the losers. Now, why did I say it like that? Because most of the translations say, whoever wants a religion other than Islam, Allah will not accept it, and hereafter they'll be with the losers. Well, I did say that, but I elongated it to the extent that you get the meaning, because deen doesn't really just mean religion. Inna dina indallahi al-Islam. I didn't translate that as religion in the first one or the second one. I translated it as way of life, because we don't just walk out of the masjid doors and suddenly, like at a church, you can walk out of the church, yeah, that's it for this week, and see you next week. That's not how it works, because what we learn in the masjid, then we're taking it out with us, hopefully, into the world. And there's a big mistake for anybody to think that when I walk out of the masjid, I just wash my hands of all of that, and I'll get forgiven next week when I come back. That's, by the way, there is something in the hadith telling us that whoever prays the Juma Salah, on a regular basis, so his sins are forgiven from anything in the past week since the last Juma, and to the next Juma, and to the next, and to that. As long as he keeps doing his Juma Salah, his sins are forgiven. And now it sounds like Christianity. Oh, yeah, right. All I got to do is show up for that, and I get forgiven for everything. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, guess what?
I see.
That's not how the scholars understand it. They say, first of all, if somebody's keeping up the Juma Salah, that means that they are praying the Juma Salah. They are a believer. Okay, number one. And number two, after that they assume that you are keeping up your Salah. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said in another hadith, Laysa minh. He's not from us who leaves the Salah. So you wouldn't qualify anymore. And then the way I explained it one time, somebody brought that up just before I went on the minbar to give the Juma Salah, the Juma sermon. So I said, well, yes, there is a hadith like this, but then as soon as you get through with your Juma Salah, instead of just turning your head right or left and just moving out, when you say Salaam Alaikum, the first dua, which will be accepted, that's a hadith too, that right after the Salah, your hadith are accepted. So you should be saying, oh Allah, kill me right now. And they looked at me like, what? I said, yeah, you should be doing that, because you don't know if you don't live up until that next Salah, then you might be all right. But if you miss that next Salah, then laysa min. He's not from us who leaves the Salah. So yeah, you would get forgiven, sure, inshallah, by Allah, if you made it. But what is the guarantee you're going to live? So I think you better either pray for your death, but then when Asr comes in, you better go ahead and pray it. I kind of drive a point home, you know what I mean? But you watch my videos, you see how I do that.
Yes, and I appreciate your videos when you talk about how your wife and your daughter also responds to people. That's very encouraging, and I thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Well, that's from them, not from me. They are amazing. Anyway, we got Sister Kim, and I think that this is a good time for her to kick in and see if you guys need to talk about something. Sister Kim.
Well, one thing that I wanted to recommend that she look into, which we've talked about on the show before, and I know that you were involved in it, is International Open University, IOU, which is run by Bilal Phillips, and it's available online. I think it's iou.edu. And they have a very, very, very comprehensive program.
Well, you use it, don't you, sister? Don't you use that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. They've got a very comprehensive program if you want to gain knowledge. It used to be free. Now they ask for a donation, and I think the lowest donation you can give is $12, and that's for an entire year. I would really recommend looking into it because, you will gain so much knowledge from that, and it will take you years to complete the classes.
Yeah,
and
it just keeps going on. Let me interject something before we take our little break here. There is another way that you can start out right now, and this is the basics of a lot of things so that you have a sort of an overall knowledge of, the topics of how to approach the topics in Islam. And let me put that up here right now for everybody to see. This is, and by the way, all of our websites have something called Contact Us so that you can see how to do that, all right? But this particular one is What's Islam? And What's Islam? And let me see if I can pull that down so you can see it better. Yeah, here we go. What's Islam is the 2 videos that start the whole thing off. Now, in the case where somebody is kind of busy and they don't really have the time to go through it all, then there's another way that they can do it, and that is to, let me see if I can make this a little bit smaller here. Yeah, here we go. You can see that Share Islam has the ability to just go through and find the subject you want to talk about. Here's What's Islam. Whoa, that went too fast for me. God, Allah. What do we say, Allah? Allah's Quran, Prophet of Islam, Islam's women, the science of Islam, about jihad, Bible Islam, a chat where you can talk with one of our representatives, and Islam's questions. Now, all of that is rolled into one website called Share Islam, but it actually is a big mirage or collage of a lot of our websites coming together for you to help you out with that. So, yeah. Now, we're going to take this short break and we'll be right back right after this. Guys, stay tuned, stay guided with
Guidus TV.
Guidus TV, watched by many, loved by all. New Muslims, young Muslims, born Muslims, non-Muslims, all enjoy it. Guidus TV, never ads, always free. Let's keep it free, no ads. Support and share, and get guided with Guidus TV. This is Yusuf Estes, and I'm looking for something. Actually, I'm looking for someone. Is that someone you? I want Dawah partners, and you can be my Dawah partner right now. It's real easy. Just go to dawahpartners.com, sign up, and join me. There are 3 things that I would like for you to be able to do. Any one of them or all of them. Beautiful. Number 1, you will make dua. So you can be our Dawah partner, even if you don't go to the website, but I hope you do. Number 2, share. Share this message and let other people know about becoming Dawah partners. And number 3, help us financially. Donate on a monthly basis, even if it's small. Allah loves the thing that you do regularly, even if it's small, more than the thing that you do that's really big, but you only do it once. Join me as a Dawah partner. Do it now. Click, 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 click. Okay, and we are back. MashaAllah ta'ala. While we were off the air, I was talking to the new sister who had just called us, and looks like that we're going to be working along with her we'll all learn. We all learn together, guys. So whenever you ask a question, I like to say Allahu Alam, because Allah is the all-knower. And then I like to delve into the question and find out all the little intricacies about it. Then find out what the answer is for myself, too, if I don't already know. And then we can all benefit. So that's how it works. Sister Kim, do you have any question for us tonight?
Oh, I've got plenty of questions, but I don't want to tie up Sister Tiffany on the phone if she's done with her question.
Well, there's a good answer. That's one way to get out of it. Go ahead, sister. Sister Tiffany, if you have a question, go ahead.
Yes. So you said that you have where we can learn Arabic is also on the website. Also.
Yep. Let me put that one up there. ArabicInEnglish.com. Let me see if that comes up. Yep, there it is. Oh, and it has a real cute guy on there with a. Looks like he's. Let me see what happens with that.
Wassalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Up until very recently, this is the way that you would expect to learn the Arabic language. Was someone coming in the traditional dress, the traditional way, and speaking only the Arabic language to you and showing you everything as you see it here. So that's why we're going to offer this special presentation of Arabic in English. One of the letters in the Arabic language is called lam. Now, it's not a sheep, it's lam. I think when you see how we put this together, you'll realize that this is a great way for our youth to learn the Arabic language, for new Muslims who would like to know more about their religion, for those who are intimidated a bit by the Arabic and never tried it, for those who would just like to know Arabic in general, to know what people are talking about. And as they say, see what they're saying. So we're going to try, inshallah, to cover all of those things in this program.
MashaAllah. And so that's the introduction for the Arabic and English. Now, like all of our programs are really free. But this particular one is the one that has a price tag attached to it, and you can rent all of the whole entire course for $8, or you can buy it and use it again and again and again for $40. So, yeah, that's. But if somebody will write to me and contact at guideus.tv and say, well, we just don't have that money, right now we have the pandemic, etc. You don't have to give me any excuse. I'll just pay for it myself, and you'll have it. I get it cheaper anyway. So, no problem. Do you have any other questions, sister?
Oh, I have lots of questions, but at the moment I'm drawing a blank on a lot of them. I just wanted to tell, in case someone else needs to hear this, I was given a Quran 7 years ago, and I just never opened it, but I kept it. And then I opened it in February, and I've never turned back.
Let me ask you this question, if I can. You said that there was a Quran somebody gave you. Where did they get it from?
They just went to one of the local bookstores and gave it to me as a gift.
Ah. They did you a big favor, didn't they?
They did. The biggest favor in my life, and I just, there's no way I can thank them enough for it. And since then, I've gotten more of our, I bought other ones too, and I read them and I read them and I read them, and I watch the videos, and and then I got off on the website that wasn't correct.
This bad websites about Islam, it started at the same time, almost the same time that we started putting up the good ones for Islam, about 23, 24 years ago. And immediately, now the first ones that were really professionally done were attacking Islam from the Christian point of view, from Arab Christians, actually. And they had, not all Arab Christians are that way, by the way. That's the experience we had with the websites. But it is interesting that after time we found that even some Muslims would kind of go off in a different direction and wind up attacking Islam and still saying that they're Muslims, and that's kind of crazy. But even one that worked for us for a while, he just lost his way, and all of the things that they blame usually is the way they get treated by Muslims. It's not I haven't seen anybody say, directly, well, I left it because it doesn't make any sense. A lot of Muslims don't make any sense. True story. But the idea that there is a creator for everything, and he wants you to do something because he put you here only on a temporary basis. He's going to take your life. He gave you a life. He's going to take it away from you. But he's going to give you a chance, a big chance on the day of judgment to present your case. But you won't be able to lie. You won't be able to do anything. And then you're going to realize that there's nobody going to enter the paradise except by his permission. And his permission, he's set a standard for us that nobody is really going to measure up to. Even the prophets themselves are going to have to enter into the paradise by his mercy. And now that is from a hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us what means in English. And he said this right after Salah. He was doing Salah and the brothers behind him following him. And then after he was done, he turned to them and he said, nobody will enter into paradise except by the rahmah, or the mercy of Allah. So they said, even you? Ya Rasulullah, even you? He said, even me. Even me. So there is nobody that will enter into the paradise except by this way. The way of Islam, to be forgiven, to have the mercy. And when you read the Bible, now you can think about what did Jesus mean by what he said, because we don't have the original. So you're relying on people's interpretations, and also about 3 steps of 3 different languages that it came through before it even got to us. So when it says no man comes unto the Father but by me, it could have been by my way. And the way, of course, is the way of the prophets. And that would make a lot of sense. The more that I spent 2 years going back and forth between what I had already learned from my Bible, what I'd already learned from the Quran before I came into Islam. But then I spent another 2 years comparing back and forth, until I reached the level. I'd already written a book by that time, or at least an outline for a book. And I didn't publish it for almost 10 years after that. But the thing that I was able to make a conclusion, a concluding remark after all of that time, that the Bible and the Quran never disagree, except where the Bible disagrees with itself. And that is a way to reach out to the Christians, I think, and let them know that we all know you've got problems with the Bible. We know that. And if you say you know, then I don't have any problem with the Bible, then either you haven't really read it, or maybe you're missing some equipment up in your head, because there's no way that you can read it and not have a problem with something, because there are contradictory remarks in there. Now, if you want to go to your scholars of the Bible and ask them, then they'll give you all kinds of stories, and some of them are actually true. But the basis of what is being said is that you can't know exactly what's true or false from the Bible unless you have the Quran as your comparison, because then all of a sudden it's a new light. And that's the experience that I had. I don't recommend that Muslims, just off the top of their head, just go out and get a Bible and start reading it, because there's a big waste of time here that they don't need to do. We've already done all of this. I have a website called BibleIslam.com, and that is what that is for, so that you don't have to go out and do all that research. So I'll show you exactly what you need to know about that from a Muslim point of view. So, yeah. So if you run into...
BibleIslam.com.
Yeah, it's part of Share Islam anyway. So just to remember Share Islam, you won't go...
Okay.
I didn't put anything in Share Islam that was unique only to Share Islam. I didn't put anything in there that's so unique, but I did try to cover the topics well enough that somebody could come away and give a short talk about whatever it is. So yeah, I think that presents it pretty well. Most of the websites that we have, I bought these names to protect the Muslims from somebody else getting the names and turning them into one sect of Islam or one understanding of only one person, or actually people that have left Islam, or so I tried to like terrorismislam.com, people will criticize me and say, oh, well, why did you buy all well, would you like to somebody else have it? And we're using it for good,
I have actually been very careful of the videos I even follow, because if I notice that they're associated with you or you're with them in some shape or form or say something, then I know to follow them and look at their videos, because I've gotten videos that were telling me how to pray wrong and things like that.
Well, now as far as praying the salah wrong, and maybe that's not the best way to say it, because there are different madhahab, and I like to equate that word madhahab to our word method, because it's similar. But madhahab means a group, a madhab, or not a meth lab, a methhab. So, but you can go pretty crazy with it, because it is an opinion of scholars. This is one particular scholar who actually knew some of the Prophet's companions, and that's Abu Hanifa. So the Hanafi school of fiqh, or it means understanding. So that is one of the closest ones that you will ever get as far as compatibility with the teachings there. But it's not perfect, because it was so far in the distance and people traveling, etc., etc. So another one is the Maliki, and that is a successor after that. Imam Malik knew Imam Abu Hanifa. They had met and they had conversations, and they were not setting up a car lot across the street from each other in competition. No. They were very much approving of each other's opinions, except when they got into a discussion about certain ways and particular things. How do you move your finger, for instance, where you put your hands, things like this. And that is because a particular scholar understood from the actual people that told him, this is what we heard from somebody who knew the Prophet ﷺ. Okay, so we're going to do that until we see something stronger. And that's what they lived and died with. They were ready to change their minds when they found evidence that is stronger than the previous evidence. And sometimes when they don't have any evidence at all, they made what's called qiyas, which is to use your brain and use your logic for as much as you know about Islam, and you say, well, yeah, let's go with that until we find something else. And then when you find something else, then you're supposed to go with that. So whatever the strongest proof is, that is what we're supposed to take. However, if there is a weak evidence for this, and it's easier for you to do that, then the scholars will give you that choice, because they will tell you this is not from a hadith. This is from some of the followers later. They came up with this idea, and they're saying that you should do this or that. But we can't give you the absolute ruling on it because we don't have it from the Quran or the authentic Hadith. And I hope that I didn't drag this out too far for the followers that are trying to keep up with what we're talking about. Alhamdulillah.
I do have one question that is really bothering me. You said that, it's frowned upon for us to move, like, from somewhere which I live here in Los Angeles on the outskirts, but it's still considered LA. And I don't know of anyone here. I don't know, and the mosques that are around me are closed. And so what knowledge should I be? What knowledge should I be getting here versus going somewhere else?
First of all, I need to correct myself from what I said because obviously I gave you the wrong impression. The scholars of Islam had told us before, they had made it real crystal clear to me when I came into Islam, that it is not appropriate for a Muslim, a true believer, to leave Darul Islam, the place of Islam, for a place of the Ghair Islam, or without Islam. So, I don't consider Los Angeles to be a place of Islam, but it is a place of knowledge where you can get knowledge easier. And if you had the ability to stay or remain there, then I would have recommended to you IOK, because IOK is some of the brothers there, the scholars there have worked alongside of me for years even, and I know them very well and I trust them, and actually I ask them questions. So that's a great place to get knowledge right here in this area. But there's no problem if you're, especially for sisters and the pandemic, so there's no reason for you to have to get in your car and go get knowledge. You'd pick up the phone or send a text message or an email, and all of that you can do from your home wherever you are in Missouri. So don't get me wrong. The expression, it was like this, that a believer should not leave Darul Islam for Darul Kufr, unless for 3 reasons. Now, they give 3 reasons which you could do that. And that is for beneficial knowledge, and then you go to get the benefit of that knowledge for the Muslims, for Islam, okay? But then you come back to Darul Islam. And then another excuse would be for health reasons. And as soon as you're well, you come back. A treatment that you could not get in Dar Islam, you have to go to Darul Kufr to get it. And then the third one was for dawah, and then you go in and you give the dawah, and then you bring them back, the ones that accept Islam. But in no case do you stay there when the chance is that you had left the place of Islam. And I don't even know that exists on the earth anymore, true Islam. So, yeah. And then how would you get there? What would you do when you got there? So it's something that I probably shouldn't have even brought up.
Well, I definitely, we were relocating to get our son into Islamic school in Virginia, where there was lower cost of living a little bit, but things happened and we're ending up making a stop in Missouri for a while before we were able to do that.
Well, and
I don't want to go away from Islam.
Okay, well, yeah. What about the place you're talking about in, was it Northern Virginia?
Yes.
Yeah, because we lived there for like 10 years, and I had a lot of good experiences with the masajid, the mosques there, and also the schools, and we helped raise funds for the schools. And there's one particular one that I still stay in touch with, that we still support, and that's the one that's it's actually in Maryland, right on the edge of Washington, D.C. in Maryland. Dar es Salaam. That's called Dar es Salaam, a place of peace. Dar, the D-A-R means place, like Dar es Salaam means a place of peace. Dar es Salaam, yeah, that means a place of peace. Dar al-Islam means the place where Islam is established. And Dar al-Kufr means a place of the disbelief. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
So, any other question?
Well, I have lots, but I'm drawing a blank right now.
All right.
So.
Well, if you get a chance, go to our websites, go to Share Islam, and look at the many, many, many beautiful propositions that we offer you right there for knowledge. You can get a lot of basic knowledge right there. And then if you see questions that come into your mind, then let us know. Tell us about your question, and let us see what we can do about that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Sheikh.
Barakallah fikum. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakum Allah khair. MashaAllah. And yeah. Well, now for all of you who are watching, it's your turn now to call in if you'd like. We only have 5 minutes left. Sister, what's one of the questions that you had for us tonight?
Well, it was based on something that I saw online, and it was a statement for when you're in the masjid, remember that the women are praying behind you. It's talking to the men. Remember that the women are praying behind you. And the conversation was about how men, when they bow down in sujood, you can see their undergarments. And they're like, do you want the women behind you to see that? And, you know, make sure that you wear a long shirt and make sure that you're covered and stuff like that. And so I just thought it might be interesting to talk about hijab for men.
Ah, well, that's a big subject, and I think tomorrow we can really get into that. But for right now, on this one topic about women praying behind you, there is something about that. Do you know why the women are supposed to do their salah behind the men?
Well, I always understood it was so that the men wouldn't be tempted to stare at them.
You got it pretty good. That's it, exactly. Because we know that men have these desires, and they're curious, and they will get even furious over the women being in front of them and go crazy. And so the best place for the women is behind the men, because not anything about the women being less. It's because the women are actually more. Because if a woman walks by, the men have a tendency to follow that person walking by. But if a man walks by, they don't even look. And that is the distraction. And if any woman says, well, I think that the men should just grow up and be, well, lots of luck with that. They haven't done that since Adam, all right? So, yeah, it's that's one of the things. But there's a bigger thing about the hijab for men. Big thing about that. We'll talk about that tomorrow night, because I expect any minute he's going to be calling us and telling us it's time to go off. But I would like to congratulate our sister Tiffany on her coming to Islam, opening up the Quran finally. And those of you who would like to give the Quran to somebody, remember, we do have a website called A Free Quran. There it is.
We have a
There
phone
it
call.
is.
It's exciting. Oh, answer the phone. Answer the phone. We have a phone call.
Yeah, well,
The phone is ringing. We have a phone call. We have a phone call.
this is how you can get the free Quran. And if you would like to do that, or if you would like to help us, you can do that too. But this is how we mail out the Qurans. And then at the very bottom of the page, if you would like, you can help with us to make a donation. So I'll leave you with that thought, guys. If you would like to help us be our Dawah partners, that's a great idea too. And for now, I just leave you with this thought, guys. Stay tuned and stay guided with
Guide Us TV.
It's Yusuf Estes, and I'm looking for something. Actually, I'm looking for someone. Is that someone you? I want Dawah partners, and you can be my Dawah partner right now. It's real easy. Just go to dawahpartners.com, sign up, and join me. There are 3 things that I would like for you to be able to do. Any one of them or all of them. Beautiful. Number 1, you will make dua. So you can be our Dawah partner, even if you don't go to the website, but I hope you do. Number 2, share. Share this message and let other people know about becoming Dawah partners. And number 3, help us financially. Donate on a monthly basis, even if it's small. Allah loves the thing that you do regularly, even if it's small, more than the thing that you do that's really big, but you only do it once. Join me as a Dawah partner. Do it now. Click, 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 click.